It's a very difficult time for young people. Rage is a rite of passage. Everyone wants to attend, no matter the circumstances. But we do also have to make sure that those wanting to attend and celebrate the end of their school life need to do so responsibly. So in light of what we saw taking place last year, what have organisers done differently this time around?
Annalie, thanks for giving us the opportunity to have the discussion. I think, look, 2020 was a deeply regrettable time for us. It was a very difficult time. And we simply can't go down that road again as an entertainment industry, as an events industry. We continue to lobby to allow the entertainment, events, sporting, art and culture industry to be open. We watch what's happening globally with vaccination-only events, with the use of rapid antigen testing, PCR laboratory testing to support events. And we're seeing large events happening across the world, international music festivals, Formula One Grand Prix with full grandstands, UEFA Championships games, the US Open. And we're sort of looking at it going, why does South Africa need to be different? And we were really extremely encouraged on this Wednesday past when our Deputy President, Minister of Health, Minister of Sport, Art and Culture launched the Return to Play, It's in Your Hands campaign, which is really all about saying to people, we want to bring you good news. We want you to be able to have fun again. We want to lift the gloom, but you need to be vaccinated. Please go and get vaccinated, and you will then be able to go and attend music concerts, events, and sports entertainment. More specifically to your question of what are we doing differently, I think unfortunately for the 2020 event, the lines of defense were weak. We used the best technology at the time, let's call it. We were using temperature guns, we were using daily self-screening on digital platforms, masks and social distancing. And I think we've learned over the last 7-8 months that these lines of defense are relatively weak. And the beauty now is that we are living in a different landscape. We've got vaccinations first and foremost, and I think as it stands today, anyone over the age of 18 has the opportunity to go and get vaccinated, and we can't implore especially young people enough who maybe don't feel the need necessarily to get vaccinated for their own personal well-being, to go and get vaccinated and do the right thing for their community. So we've got vaccinations. Everyone over 18 can go and get one. They're quick, they're simple, they take 15 to 20 minutes. There really is no excuse.
Greg, I want to, get to the nitty-gritty of it. So you're only going to allow people to attend if they have a vaccination certificate. Of course, the worry is with so much vaccine hesitancy out there, young people especially who feel they're, completely untouchable, they might feel, the inclination to forge a vaccine certificate, which, seems relatively easy given that they're written out certificates. What are you doing to make sure that those who are gaining entry are indeed vaccinated and we don't see the same kind of infection rates as we did late last year?
100%. So yes, you can forge the vaccination card, but you can't forge the EVDS system. So I think there's two things. One, for example, Discovery Health and the other medical aid providers are talking about digital vaccination certificates, which will be available on the apps. And also this week, the Department of Health announced that within 1 week, they would have a business consumer access API of some kind into the back end of the EVDS system. So absolutely, we're not going to be relying on vaccination cards. They're absolutely, you can literally handwrite one yourself. We're going to be looking up ID numbers directly into the EVDS system, either directly through the EVDS system or through a consumer portal that they make available. I think it's coming anyway. They're going to be saying that there are certain protocols for larger gatherings as they start to allow them. And as a result, the Department of Health is going to have to make an authentication process available before those events can safely take place.
Greg, we've also seen restrictions on large gatherings. We don't know when the fourth wave is likely to hit us. That's very difficult to predict. You have, however, publicly stated that should there be further restrictions from government, you'll make 90% refunds to those attending or who had bought tickets so that if that event is forced to cancel or downscale. What are you looking at just in terms of current restrictions and the numbers of people who will be allowed to attend, and something quite as practical as curfew?
So, if we were trying to do the event today, the answer is it would absolutely be cancelled. We're not trying to swim up a waterfall. We're hoping to work with the restrictions at the time. We're hoping to work with the relevant role players at the time. And we need a minimum framework to make it safe. Firstly, we want it to be morally acceptable to attend events. Secondly, we need a curfew that's reasonable, maybe 12 o'clock, I think, at the earliest. We need to be able to serve liquor to our customers, and we need to be able to give people some kind of freedom. So if we're not able to say that, once you've shown your proof of vaccination, you've presented a negative PCR test on arrival, we've antigen tested all of our staff every day and the audience every second day. If still it's not practical or there's no regulation for you to be allowed to have freedoms like we're seeing at international events, then it's really not feasible for us to proceed. And as you said, a 90% refund applies. Effectively, it's us giving back 100% of the ticket income that we've received, less all of the transaction costs to sell the ticket in the first place and to reinstate the funds afterwards.